The flowers of Kent with nectar flow, and honey bees grow fat upon it. There robin goes and neatly puts a bee in someone's bonnet.
Tuck, you've got enough there to feed an army.
Not at all. A mere pittance.
For a mere pilgrimage to Canterbury, only a few days' march.
Still, one doesn't want to fade away.
It hardly looks as if one is going to.
I'd have you know that I'm making a pilgrimage to the tomb of the blessed martyr Thomas à Becket in the Cathedral of Canterbury. A little respect, if you please.
Well, I beg your very reverend pardon. A safe journey and a well-fed one.
Here you are, Friar Tuck. The last jar.
Thank you. The last jar of honey?
Why didn't you tell me this before?
I did.
Well, that was over a month ago.
Well, nobody's brought any since then.
Oh, this is terrible. No honey and winter coming on.
A winter without honey could be a winter of sickness.
We should keep our own bees and produce our own honey.
Beekeeping's a skilled craft. We haven't any beekeepers here in the forest.
True, and if we show our noses outside, the sheriff will be waiting to pounce. Well, we'll have to go further afield than that.
What do you mean, Robin?
Yes, I think there's enough food there for two.
For two?
I'm coming with you.
What, all the way to Canterbury?
Canterbury is in Kent, is it not?
Yes, but...
And Kent is famed above all other shires for its hops, its ale, and its honey. If a man wanted to study the craft of beekeeping far from the prying eyes of the sheriff...
I think I begin to understand.
I thought you might. Well, when do we start, fellow pilgrim?
There's no time like the present. Come, Helen, we have company. Helen, this is Robin. Robin, Helen.
Now, little John, since I'm to be a pilgrim, can I borrow your quarterstaff?
Aye, Robin.
If your Kentish honey is as sweet as these Kentish apples, you did well to come with me.
Well, we'll soon see. Hey, look here.
Why, what is it?
A hive, a beehive. Where there's one, there must be more. Come on.
My goal is Canterbury, not some village beekeeper.
Come on, Tuck. The village is just over the rise.
Oh. Oh. Come on, Helen. It's bees before Canterbury for us. Come on.
I'll ask the smith whose those bees are.
Yes, and if the beekeeper will take you as a pupil, I'll leave you here whilst I finish my pilgrimage to Canterbury.
Good day to you, Master Smith.
Good day to you, stranger. And to you, Master Friar.
Ex-Takem.
You'll be pilgrims, no doubt. The tomb of the blessed martyr of Canterbury.
I am, but my friend here has other business in Kent.
Are those your bees over in that orchard?
Indeed they are. My nephew is the beekeeper. Poor lad.
Why, what's the matter with him?
He's put in the pillory. Look,
Oh? What's his crime?
his betrothed is a witch.
A witch?
Rotten shot, Jack. Here, try again.
Now, leave the lad alone, Jack.
No, this is rare sport. His face isn't half dirty yet.
No, let me go. I haven't done anything. No.
Who's that?
No.
That's her. Alice, the witch.
Edward. Edward. No.
Where are they taking her?
The pond to be ducked. She's a witch, I told you.
I'm sorry, but I don't believe it.
I didn't believe it myself at first. But it's true. It must be true.
Why, has she been tried?
No, there's been no trial. But Count Duprez says she's a witch. So it must be true.
Is that Count Duprez over there?
No, let go of me,
Yes.
I say. No, no, let me go. I haven't done anything. Edward, tell him I'm innocent.
Let her go, you murdering Norman bullies! Let her go!
Girl is a witch. She must pay the penalty.
She's not a witch, it's a lie! A Norman lie!
No, no, no.
Let her go!
Now we shall see whether she's a witch or not. If she floats, she's guilty and must be burned at the stake. If she sinks, well, she drowns. There's an end of it.
Coming, Tuck?
I suppose so. No, and this was supposed to be a peaceful pilgrimage.
Duck the witch!
No!
Into the... Tuck, get the girl, quick! Stop them! Stop that meddling friar! Drag him from the water! Robin, look out!
Right, Tuck. Take the girl to the smithy. I'll join you there.
I don't know who you are or why you're doing this,
Does that matter?
but I'll never be able to thank you enough.
Save the speech to have more time. Now, get out of there. Quick, Edward.
Look out! Look out behind you!
All right, run for it, Edward.
Take him to the manor and lock him up. Guard the prisoner until I finish my business with Lady Margaret. No one is to go near him, no one at all. Is that clear? Oh, yes, my lord.
And don't give up this key to anyone. Not even to the Lady Margaret herself.
Oh, drink some of this, Master Friar. It'll do you good.
Don't drink it.
Why not? It smells delicious.
Witch's brew.
Oh, my dear good Smith, it's no more witch's brew than the water in your well. I watched her mix it. Oh, it's an old, simple remedy for colds. I've often used it myself. Take honey, herbs, apple juice, and mead. Mix well and serve hot.
But she may have set a spell over it.
Oh, rubbish. Rubbish!
You say so, Master Friar.
I do say so. She's no witch. Oh, thank you, my dear.
Then why did Count Duprez denounce her?
Perhaps Alice can tell us that.
I'm not the first one he's accused.
Oh, who are the others?
All of Lady Margaret's servants.
Lady Margaret?
My mistress, Lady of the Manor of Morstan. Count Duprez accuses anybody who works for her of being a witch.
And what's wrong with Lady Margaret?
She's a widow, poor soul. Her lord was killed at the Holy Wars with King Richard.
Oh, now I begin to understand. The lady is Saxon, is she not?
Yes.
And the manor domain is rich, fertile land, eh?
Yes.
And Count Duprez is seeking to lay hands on it himself.
Yes, but
How do you know all this?
Don't be alarmed, good Smith. It's not witchcraft. Unfortunately, it is a pattern that is all too common in England today. All the same, I don't see how it helps the Count killing off all Lady Margaret's servant girls as witches.
That's what I don't understand either. But my lady does, I'm sure she does, from the way she speaks. Oh, you will help her, won't you?
Alice, hasn't he done enough for you already?
Oh, yes. And I'll never be able to thank you properly. But it's not for myself that I'm asking now. It's for my lady. She's all alone in the world.
I'm sorry, my dear. I have taken the road to Canterbury, and I've promised myself that nothing will interfere with my pilgrimage. But I'm sure that if you were to ask Rob, my friend, then he would help you.
Where is your friend?
Oh, he'll be here soon. No need to worry about him. He can look after himself.
Edward! Oh, thank heaven, are you all right?
I'm all right, but the stranger, he's...
Yes, what about the stranger? Where is he?
Count Duprez got him. Taken him to Lady Margaret's. I came as quick as I could, but the Count's men were out looking for me. Had to hide.
Get me my clothes. It seems I'm going to call on Lady Margaret, whether I like it or not.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
And this was supposed to be a solemn pilgrimage. No diversions, no interruptions, no...
I have twice sent word to Count Duprez demanding the release of your friend, but the Count has not deigned to answer. I'm sorry, Friar, but it seems I'm no longer mistress in my own house.
That's what I can't make out. Why does Count Duprez seem so sure of himself? As I see it, the manor of Morstan is held by your family by direct deed from the king, isn't that so?
It is. And the estate can only be forfeit if the lord or lady of the manor is guilty of treason or heresy.
And if the lady were to marry, the estate would pass to her husband.
Yes, Count Duprez has thought of that too. He's been urging me to marry him for months.
And you've been refusing him for months.
Well, of course. What do you think?
Shh, Alice.
But how does it help the Count, accusing all your servant girls of being witches?
Don't you see? He's gradually building up a legend that the manor is the center of witchcraft. Sooner or later it'll be my turn. And if I'm denounced as the chief witch in a coven of witches, even if there is no proof, even if I escape death...
You will still be tainted with heresy.
Exactly. And the estate will be forfeit to the crown. In other words, to Prince John, who's already promised it to Count Duprez.
I see. An ingenious plan. But not so ingenious that we cannot outwit him if we set our minds to it. First, I shall require some writing materials. Secondly, I shall need your help, Alice, so listen carefully.
Not so fast, my girl. Where do you think you're going with that?
It's for the prisoner.
I dare say, but my lord's orders are no one to approach the prisoner on any account.
Oh, but it's only a simple to ward off the chill. So cold and damp in this dungeon.
You needn't tell me. I can feel the ague creeping into my bones already. What's that made of?
Juice of apples, herbs, and honey.
Oh, and mead, surely.
Oh, yes, mead. Mostly mead. Seems a pity to waste it. I suppose you couldn't sample just a little.
Oh, there's nothing in my orders to stop me.
I have a message for the prisoner, too.
Oh, no talking to the prisoner. It's strictly forbidden.
Oh, but I only wanted to tell him that his friend, the Friar, is with Count Duprez now, demanding his release. Oh, surely there's no harm in that.
Harm or not, it's against the orders, and I cannot let you deliver the message.
Oh, it really is dark and damp in this dungeon. A little more medicine.
Release him. Just because you demand it, Friar.
I demand it too.
Indeed? And do you think you're in a position to make demands?
In my own house, yes. This is still my house, Count Duprez. And I was not aware that I had given you the hospitality of my dungeon.
Your dungeon today, Lady Margaret. Mine tomorrow. Whether by marriage or by forfeiture is for you to decide.
On my advice, the Lady Margaret has decided to retain control of her own property herself.
On your advice.
You step out of line once too often, my pious friend. Today you humiliated my lieutenant by pushing him into the pond in full view of the entire village,
Now you presume to thwart me. I think what's needed here is a bit of your own medicine, Friar. A day in the pillory might teach you your place.
You wouldn't do that.
Wouldn't I? Let him have a taste of humiliation. Do him good.
Even if you were guilty of anything, only the bishop can pass sentence on the friar. You can't.
And I say I can.
You cannot.
Well, now, perhaps he can.
But friar...
Perhaps it might be a good idea.
But don't you know what they do to people in the pillory?
He'd be the finest target they've had for years. Within 5 minutes, the entire village would be there, armed with rotten eggs, clots of earth, and stones, too.
I'm prepared to risk it, and to make no complaint to the bishop, on one condition.
Condition?
Challenge, then. Surely you're not the man to ignore an honest challenge.
What is it?
I have here a document containing a solemn declaration that all the charges of witchcraft and heresy levelled against the Lady Margaret and her servants were false, and a binding oath that you do hereby renounce all claim to the manor of Morsden.
And you expect me to sign that, merely for the pleasure of watching you suffer in the pillory?
No. If I do suffer, you sign nothing. But if nobody comes near me, if nobody mocks me, if nobody throws a single missile...
Impossible. Taunting a man in the pillory is the village's favourite sport. Always has been, always will be. They'll hardly make an exception of you.
Improbable, I admit. But if it happens, if I remain there in the pillory until sunset and no one molests me, then will you sign this document?
Why not? I have nothing to lose. And I shall certainly enjoy the spectacle of you in the pillory.
You think they'll come?
I don't think so.
The man in the pillory is fair game, you know.
They know the friar saved Alice and ducked the lieutenant. I don't think they'll come.
And Count Duprez is in for a bit of humbling.
Is he asleep?
Not sure.
Ah, you're a pretty little girl. Clever little girl, too. Wonderful simple. Ward off the ague.
There's still some more.
Now. He's right, you are a clever girl.
I only did as the friar told me.
And he's a clever lad. Keep behind me as we go. There may be more of the Count's men at the top of the stairs.
Louis! Louis!
Lewis! Guards, the prisoner's escaping!
The prisoner has escaped.
What's the matter with you down there?
minutes, I think you said, Count. Judging by the sun, I've been here at least 2 hours.
I don't understand it. What's come over the fools? What is this genuine witchcraft?
That's one explanation that hadn't occurred to me.
You may have bewitched the villagers, but they're not the only ones capable of throwing stones. There's a squad of my men-at-arms waiting up at the manor house. We'll see how you enjoy it when they go into action. Helen! Where are you? Down to the pillory at once!
I don't think your men are in a position to obey you. You're a better swordsman than I bargained for. And now let's join the friar, shall we? I believe you have an appointment with him that I know you're anxious to keep.
Well, Friar, it's sunset. Now I can release you.
Oh, thank you, good constable. But where's the Count?
Can't see why you should be anxious to see him.
I had a bargain with him.
Did you? Did you win?
Yes, I did.
Do you think he's going to pay off?
He'd better. Farewell, Lady Margaret. I wish we could have stayed on here longer.
I wish you could have too. And thank you, Friar Tuck.
Friar, they're waiting for you.
Who is?
Edward and Alice.
What is it?
Will you marry us, Friar?
We're going to spend our honey month in Sherwood Forest.
It will be a honey month, too. Edward will teach you all you want to know about bees. That's what you came to Kent for, wasn't it?
It was, and it seems to have been a highly successful pilgrimage.
Yours may have been. Mine isn't completed yet.
Then what are you waiting for?
Riding through the glen, Robin Hood, with his band of men, feared by the bad, loved by the good. Robin Hood. He called the greatest archers to a tavern on the green. They vowed to help the people of the king. They handled all the trouble on the English country scene and still found plenty of time to sing. Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men, feared by the bad, loved by the good. Robin Hood.